Evet arkadaşlar, sizlere bugün güncel olarak kalıcı bir şekilde Windows 11 Defender'ın kapatılmasını göstereceğim. Biraz uzun olabilir ama kalıcı olarak kapanıyor arkadaşlar. Hiçbir şekilde yeniden başladığında karşınıza antivirüs olarak tekrar çıkmıyor Defender. Şimdi arkadaşlar bu nasıl yapılıyor ona geçelim. Ayarlara giriyoruz. Ayarlardan sol kısımdan gizlilik ve güvenlik var. En alttan ikinci. Ona tıklıyoruz. Windows güvenliğine tıklıyoruz. Virüs ve tehdit koruması. Buna girdik. Virüs ve tehdit koruması ayarları yazıyor. Ayarları yönete tıklıyoruz. Bunları kapatıyoruz. Bende şu an kapalı. Yeniden de başladığında böyle oluyor zaten. İstesen de açamıyorsun. Kapalı. Kalıcı olarak kapatmak bu. İstesen bile açamıyorsun yani onu söyleyeyim. Kapandı. Ama ayarlarımız var. Regedit ayarlarımız var. Regedit ayarlarımıza geçelim. Şimdi arkadaşlar.
And they just can't seem to disable it. So as you custom this method, it's going to work for every version.
İlk lokal makineye giriyoruz. Regedit'ten. Regedit'e nasıl girilir bilmeyen arkadaşlara onu da yazayım. Arama kısmına Regedit yazınca kayıt defteri düzenleyicisi çıkıyor. Kayıt defteri düzenleyicisi de yazabilirsiniz. Buna giriyorsunuz. Sonra Hikey lokal makine. Üçüncü sekmeyi açıyorsunuz.
Of Windows. So let's go into HK local machine here. And then what we need to do is go down to where it says software. Open this up here. And then go down to policies. Open this little tab up. Then you'll see Microsoft. Open that tab up there. And then come down until we see Windows Defender. Now Windows Defender is here. And this is the one we need to make changes to. So from here, what you can do is go over to the right-hand side when you're clicked on the Windows Defender and create a new dword 32-bit value key. So click that and create a new one. Once we created this key, we need to give these names. This one's going to call DisableAntiSpyware. So put that in as you see it here. And then we need to give this a value of 1. So double click on it and this allows us to put a value of 1 inside here. Click OK. Now there's quite a few keys that we need to add. So let's first do another one. New dword 32-bit value. And this one's called DisableRealtimeMonitoring. So we need to put this one in as it is here, just like I'm doing here. And once we got this set out, we can give this a value of 1 as well. This will disable this feature as well. So let's go into here and disable this one. There we go. And click OK. Next, we need to do another one. So right-click, New, dword 32-bit value. And then we're going to give this another name called DisableAntiVirus. So put this one in here, just like we're doing here. There we go. And double click and give this a value of 1 as well. Now we need to do one more here. So I'm just going to right click, new dword 32-bit value. And then we're going to give this a name called DisableSpecialRunningModes. This is what we're going to be putting in here. Now you may be thinking this is pretty extreme, but this is exactly what you need to do to disable Windows Defender in Windows 11. So it's a bit more different to Windows 10. Give that a value of 1 as well. Then we need to right click and give another dword 32-bit value and call this one DisableRoutinelyTakingAction. And then give this a value of 1 as well. One more, new dword 32-bit value and call this ServiceKeepAlive. And we need to leave this as default as 0. And we want to leave that as is. So leave this one as 0. And once we've done here, we've done in this Windows Defender folder now, we can now move on to a new key. So we need to add a new key or a new folder and you can right click on Windows Defender and call it Real-Time Protection, as you can see here. So just type that out, and that means we can now put some more registry keys inside of that folder there, and that's exactly what we need to do here. So click on this one here. Now go over to the right hand pane again, and we're going to right click here and give this another new dword 32-bit value key. So let's go down here, and again we need to add in here Disable Behavior Monitoring, and we're going to give this a value of 1. Next up, we're going to do another key here. So do another new dword 32-bit value, and Disable On Access Protection needs to be put in this one here. So make sure we do this one here, just as you see here, and then we can give this a value of 1 as well, and this will disable that feature. So let's go ahead and do this one here. Double click, give it a 1, click OK. Right click, and again, another new dword 32-bit value key needs to be added. So let's go ahead and do another one. And we're going to call this one Disable Real-Time Monitoring. Just as we did in the Windows Defender, we're doing this under the Real-Time Protection folder this time. And once that's done, we can give this a value of 1 here as well. Click OK. And once we've got that, we need to do one more here. So let's go new dword 32-bit value and call this DisableScanOnRealtimeEnable. So we're going to do this one here. Type this one out, and then we can give this a value of 1 also, which will then disable this process. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Double click, give it a value 1, click OK. Okay, so we don't have to do too much in that folder there, but we do need to add another key or another folder called Signature Updates. So right click on the Windows Defender and call it Signature Updates. We've just got one key inside here that we need to do here, so there's not too much work to be done inside this folder. So let's go ahead and right click and give this a new dword 32-bit value. And this is called ForceUpdateFromMU. That's what we need to do here. We're going to leave this as a default here. Now, the reason why we're leaving the forced updates from MU, and that's because we want to leave the definitions coming down so we don't get any sort of errors from the Windows updates, and also it will allow the definitions to get down onto the system. So create a new key, and we're going to call this one Spynet, and this one goes in the Windows Defender folder. And in here we just need one more here, so we're going to go new dword 32-bit value and call this one DisableBlockAtFirstSeen. And that's what we need to put here. So let's go ahead and do that one here. And of course, we're going to enable this one as well. And that is all of the registry edits now taken care of. So the reason why I've done all of these in the registry is because Windows 11 home users are going to have to use the registry because they won't have group policy editor. And again, the group policy editor doesn't really stop all of it on its own for some reason. And you have to add in a few registry keys and it will actually then stop it. So that is now done. We have the real-time protection, signature updates, and Spynet and Windows Defender settings all set inside the registry. Now, if you're on Windows 11 Pro, you can go into Group Policy Editor here. Let me just quickly open this up, and you'll see that there is some policies inside here that allow you control Windows Defender. And I'm pretty sure that there is a way of doing it fully in Group Policy. But it did seem to keep enabling those features, which I'm not sure why. With the registry keys in there, it just definitely stops it. So if you look in here, and we're going to Windows Components, and then look for, Windows Defender Antivirus. Inside here, you're going to see some areas that you can, change. And this is turn off Microsoft Defender Antivirus here. And basically, you just enable this feature. It's no good disabling it. You need to read all of the message in here because it means sometimes you have to enable and sometimes you have to disable. So just read exactly what you get in here. So another one here is this one here. I've already got this disabled here, but allow anti-malware services to remain running always. And you can see disable here or enabled or not.
Kendimden göstereyim size. Şu en alttan ikinci devre dışı. Bu devre dışıydı ama etkindi ama yapılandırılmadı olarak çıkıyor. Neyse. Videodan bakalım.
Configured, and you can go through and work out which ones you want to do it if you're inside here. If you want to see a complete video on group policy on disabling Windows Defender, then let me know in the comments section. I'll be happy to make that video for you. It's going to be a lengthy one because there's quite a few settings that you have to configure and change here. So you can see turn off real-time protection here, and you can see there is a couple of areas. So if you put disable here, if you disable or do not configure this policy, Microsoft Defender will prompt people. So you can literally...
Sol sekmede görüyorsunuz Real Time Protection yazıyor. Ona tıklıyorsunuz. Gerçek zamanlı izleyiciyi kapat şeklinde yazıyor. Zaten sıralamasına göre kattıkları için
change these and turn off behavior monitoring. So you can see these are literally changing the registry settings for us by doing it in this panel. And this is exactly what this is doing. And this is used for, administrators and things like that. So you can go through and disable them all in this location as well. And there's tons of them you have to go through. So I'm not going to go through it in this video, but generally you can see there's quite a few that you can go through here, like the scan section here as well. There's quite a few on here that you can mess around with. Now, the registry settings have already been set, so these are pretty much done. So let's take a look once we reboot the system, and this will literally disable Windows Defender here. So I'm going to quickly restart the system here, and you'll get a general idea of what will actually happen once we restart. We'll go into Windows Defender and you'll see that it's been turned off. And that's exactly what you need to do if you want to turn here. Quickly go back. There we go. And you can see it there. It's completely turned off. As you can see here, your virus and threat protection is managed by their a complete god on the computer, and they've never been infected in all of their life using a computer. And again, you're going to get people just basically don't want it on